I would just like to say this is very unrehearsed. I left my eulogy at home, and I don't have my glasses on, so all of you are very fuzzy. I didn't want to do this in church because I was going to curse in church, so it just didn't seem right. My father was a fucking hard ass, and looking at him, I see him completely and utterly my father. And I'm sorry if I cry, but we're all waiting for it, because I haven't. He was one of the most stubborn people I've ever known in my life, and it's probably why we are as stubborn as we are. He was compassionate, would probably sit there and lay down on the street if he could give somebody $5 to go and just do whatever. It didn't matter. He called my mom and Steph wife-in-laws. They were best friends, everybody. And, you know, he loved us all unconditionally. Of course, my sister's not here, but we love her just the same. And if you keep rubbing my back, I will.
Tell the story about when he fell off the...
Oh yeah, okay. Speaking of hard ass, my Uncle Tommy built this giant thing for sledding and everything else. And he had... Mom, will you sit down, please? That's my mom. She's also where I get my attitude from. He built this thing where we put the slide up and everything. We were going down sledding. And my father is probably like 10 or 15 feet tall. And he just falls off on his back. And my mom's having a heart attack. And nobody knows what's wrong. And he just gets up and he's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Same thing with DuPont. He used to work at DuPont in Delaware. And he had the hazmat suit on. And Tickle, the chemical, just got into his suit and burned a hole through his arm. And he came home and he's like, oh, just put Neosporin on it. I'm fine, you know. And of course she got freaked out and was like, oh my God, you have to go to the ER. But she says that if you cough, so we'll read less because it's true. I love that man so much. And it doesn't seem real. Every morning I wake up and I kiss this box. Every night I do the same thing. When he died, I held his body in hospice and just felt him. He was still warm. Steph came in and we were waiting and we're like, okay, the joke's over, just pop back up. We knew. But now there's no way to bring you back. But it's okay. Because me and Ed saw the one star on the beach, and that was him. And now it's snowing, and me and Steph don't like the snow. And he's doing it on purpose because he didn't want any of this, and we're just like, no, we need it. Strongest man I've ever known. All he kept saying was that his legacy would live on through us. And it is, especially since it looks exactly like him and it creeps me out. Right? It's ridiculous. I could sit here and say every story in the world, like, oh, and I have to mention his puppies were also his children, and I'm sure that they're at home crying that they're not here. Precious was very mad at me when I left. I was like, oh, I'm going to see Poppy. When I wear his Carhartt jacket, I just feel him. I feel like I'm 6'4". And it doesn't matter what happens. I was really mad the other day because the stupid guy at the funeral home spelled his name wrong, and I put the Carhartt jacket on and lit my cigarette and was just ready to rock and roll, and he had to hold me back because I was mad. But that's the awesome awesome rage that I get from my Polish tempered father. Alright, I get it from both sides of the Polish family. I don't know. Anybody that knew him knew he was hysterical, and he would dance and laugh. It didn't matter how many teeth were left in his mouth. And he wouldn't do anything about it. He would sit there and say, "It's okay, I can go on it. I'll eat my potato chips, you know." And yeah, he was an alcoholic, but we love him for it, and that's why we're gonna take shots of bourbon. And I don't drink, so you know, everybody just watch me. I'll be okay. I can't even explain the love that I have for him, that I always will. Like, the strangest thing happened last night. There was a napkin on the side, and I saw the napkin coming down the street, and it came up my steps, okay? By the breeze, it came up the steps. And every time I went outside, it was down the street again. Every time I came back out for a cigarette, it was back up the steps. And I'm like, he told me to see if there was something on it, saying hello. I probably would have, like, creeped out and, like, ran inside and locked the door and, like, but no, he's there. I kissed his box the other night and his jacket moved. That was pretty rad. But, you know, he's awesome. And he still is messing with me because when I tried to plan the funeral, everything went wrong. I was like, he didn't want it. He didn't want it. He wanted a party. Didn't want me to cry. He would. Want to say anything? Because I'm like, my mind is like jumbled at the moment. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave you. Of course I'm going to say